Hi Naim.
Hi.
Thank you for saying yes to this pretty much the first interview when it comes to sexual dearmoring, and it's kind of the dynamic for the somatic consent and dearmoring arts, bringing sexual dearmoring more into the open. And my name is Matt, and I'm the host of this podcast, and I'm as well a Dearmoring practitioner and facilitator. But it's not today about me, it's about you. And I want to have a little conversation how you found your way in and what it does to you, and see how it all unfolds. But first of all, who is Naim?
Hi, Matt. Thank you. My name is Naim Joseph. I have been working in fashion industry for almost 20 years now, and I was finding my way to this self-development practices through ayahuasca, and then I find out, oh my God, it's a lot of new tools. I can see that I can try, and also to expand my understanding of myself. And then also I during this healing process, me and my friend Shahab, we find out that there is something called Dearmoring, and then we come in touch with you guys.
How have you heard about that in the first place, or how did it land on your plate, and what was your first impression of dearmoring, or what dearmoring is?
Actually, I was like talking to Shahab. Shahab told me that we need to this because we are doing some ceremonies together, like plant medicine ceremonies, and I remember he told me there is a course we can go and also find some tools for healing. It's just when we doing the ceremony, then sometimes we need to get in touch with people physically and like maybe take care of them somehow. And then we didn't knew anything about it, and it was like the armoring was the kind of tool we thought it was that it could help us. So, and then he had seen some videos in YouTube, and I remember we saw Dian tutorial in some dearmoring session, and it felt really very interesting, something I never knew anything about it, and also I was very curious about it. So then we just applied for the Dearmoring Basic. And I didn't have any clue about anything more than that.
I mean, this is this is exactly a year ago. The training you came started on 1st April in 24, right?
Yeah, no, it was in October, in the one before.
So you came to the Chefsöden training?
Yeah, Chefsöden.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
But then you did 2 times assisting at the training.
Yeah.
The one in
in April too, yeah.
Stromska, I can't really pronounce. Stromska.
Yeah.
So what was your first impression? You know, there's 3 kind of teachers, but you know, the first evening, the first ritual. So what was your first impression when you saw what's going on in a dearmoring training?
Yeah, I remember we was at your introduction in the beginning, the first day when you went through all the theoretical, and we was like very excited, me and Shahab, when we went out to the break. We talked to each other, like we look in each other and talk to each other. That's really good stuff. That's really, and we was very excited. Then we come back to the first workshop. Then, oh my God! Then I think that was the moment it landed for me. Oh my God! This is so much deeper than I could ever imagine about it. And after the workshop, we looked at each other. We couldn't say anything. Well, my God, just this workshop was worth the money. So first day we was already satisfied. And then I remember like the workshop after the day after first circle, we was like looking to each other and we said, that's good stuff, let's go, let's go further. And it was really amazing. It was like blowing my mind how unaware I was about anything, and everything was so huge and deep and so profound that I don't know, I wasn't in this planet at that moment. I couldn't understand. And all these 10 days, 11 days, every day we was like looking to each other and we were, my God, this is so amazing. This is so amazing. I remember when we was like, after all this like 10, 12 hours of intensive workshops, and we went to the sauna and we were going back and we was going and lie back, and I was so excited I couldn't sleep. I just shut my eyes and I see all these colors and like, you know, it was DMT. And I felt like, how is this possible? I have just read those in books. Like, you know, you can produce DMT in your mind, in your body. You don't need all this plant medicine. But it was, for me, was the moment of truth to see that, oh my God, this is so profound. And now I feel like, at that moment, I feel like, okay, I think I'm in the right path.
Yeah. So that was the first time in your life that you had conscious, hands-on sexual dearmoring in proximity with another human being, right?
Exactly. I was like, you know, I grew up in Iran in a religious society. We never, you know, I remember when I was young, it wasn't allowed to have like t-shirts. So I'm coming from this background that was like, you know, so limited that body is not existing. You're not showing it. Touch, no, never. You never touch somebody else's body.
Touching genitals is just like...
Touching genitals is not existing even in the fantasy. Yeah. That is so different, and that was so release for me. Like, you know, I have ignored my body all this so many years, and like in that profound and deep level of like, you know, understanding and being connected with that, because maybe I get all those DMT because I was totally the opposite way, and I feel like so relaxed. And I remember I was meditating a lot before, and I had always this tense, little bit of like tense in my body. I never could touch it, like, you know, to release it. But then I feel like, oh, okay, I got that really, the last part of it in the Dearmoring. And I feel like, yeah, it is something I need to explore more.
I mean, we have been building, the three of us, you know, the entire container, and how to communicate and how to touch. The entire structure is literally an arc of building it up.
Yeah.
But then when it came to the first dearmoring session, I think male was receiving in this case first.
Yeah.
So it was anal and genital dearmoring.
Yeah.
So what was your experience the first time having some?
Yeah, I remember like we had some talk, me and Shahab, about that. You know, is again about my background. We never, like, you know, we're not talking about that. And I feel like this was like my like milestone of, like, you know, passing, releasing this blockage. And also, you know, as you said, like, you know, the first day, it was like, you know, how you build everything to bring us into that. And that moment, I was just had this trust in all of you three, like, you know, just all under your assistance. Then I feel like, okay, I trust these people, and I trust all the people was there, and I just really could totally release and go into receiving. But still, it was like a knife in my body. It was, yeah.
I mean, the first time getting something consciously entered into your anus.
Yeah.
So that was like a strange first experience.
Yeah, it was very strange. It feels like a knife, but I feel like it was because of my body resisting against it. So but there's also I remember my body shaked a lot direct after, I get a lot of release. So
I mean, we could just talk for hours just about the experience that you had when you have the first time the experience of receiving. But how was, I mean, the entire training is literally for individuals who want to get into Dearmoring, or for practitioners who want to learn Dearmoring in their part. And as far as I remember, that was not really your intention to become a practitioner.
No.
But I remember then, you know, you have gone through quite some journey after since. But how was it for you when you just saw and experienced that you have the capacity to provide and to give Dearmoring, sexual Dearmoring to other people? How was that for you?
And that was really, because of my profound experience, I feel that it is so much benefit in it. And I want to just, I feel like Dearmoring is general is good, but also it was very, for me, was this very, very, very important part of it. It was the sexual Dearmoring, and that, because of that, I feel like it's I need to also be able to pass this gift and give them to other people. And after that, I feel like I could think about to giving sexual Dearmoring to the other people. For me, it's nothing actually just sexual in it, but it feels like it's just a medicine. I feel like I had this huge benefit of it, and I'm using it as a tool. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a profound experience. I remember my first session was just absolutely incredible as well, and I mean, over the years, I don't know how many hundred sessions or even thousand sessions I've done in a way. But you know, we have the practice part afterwards, where people choose who they want to practice what with the next following days. But remember, after the training, you and Shahab, you were just like practicing a lot and had a lot of experiences before you started working with other people, right? So
I remember you told us, or some of, I think it was Dian maybe, told us, you don't charge people before 100 of sessions. And me and Shahab, we just set the schedule, and we did it every day. We meet every day at 8 in the morning, 8:15 until 1 or 2 in the noon. And we did some yoga, meditation, and then Dearmoring every day. We did in each other, and we feel like, okay, we need to fill up this 100 exercise before we go further. And I feel like this, in 6 months, we did it every day, like 5 days a week. And it gives us some really good understanding of this tool, like in deeply, I feel it in my hands and my fiber of my body. And also we did every day we did your hand awakening meditation, because we understood, okay, this is also very fundamental in this, so we get in touch to our body, so we can also apply it something from ourselves, like, if we touch somebody else, so it was so beneficial. And
so I mean, you have done 2 times assisting in the training, and over that time you have starting to give sessions as well, right?
Yeah.
So how is that going? What's your experience of a practitioner offering sessions?
Yeah, I feel like it is a very strong tool in my toolbox at the moment. I use them in not very constantly, like for everyone. I have different tools, but it is when it is needed. I feel it's needed for a lot of people, but some of my clients is not ready. But we are just and I feel like I'm doing like kind of I meet my client in where they are, and just then I see how deep we can go into the experience, and when the Dearmoring's going to be like the time for Dearmoring, then I suggest that, and I'm using that now in some times, like in different level of also Dearmoring, and some people, they go deeper in the Dearmoring also, so we go all the way into the sexual Dearmoring, some not.
What's your biggest challenge in sessions or in sexual Dearmoring? So where do you feel mostly confronted, where you feel like just like, okay, I cannot see face or experience that? What is your experience, or what's your biggest challenge in Dearmoring?
My biggest challenge is actually my sexual energy. I feel like I want to keep it as clean as possible. So that's my biggest challenge,
Yeah. So what is exactly the challenge? What do you think could happen, or what would not be clean, or what could be the pitfall for you?
I feel like sometimes I have this kind of guilt of it's popping up, some guilt. Maybe it is something I need to work on myself, of course. And that is the challenge. I just try, I see that this challenge popping up because I feel some kind of guilt, and I'm cleaning up before I'm making the consent very clear before, so I don't end up in this guilt feeling. And usually is I have met them in some exercises when we did in the group as assistant, but not so much with my latest sessions here. So
I mean, the interesting thing is about doing that for years and years and years, and when you do sessions and sessions and sessions, stuff will come up. And when I'm working with people who have been going through the education or doing the Dearmoring, and I ask people, so what's your challenge, or where do you getting confronted with your own shadows maybe? And people say just like, well, everything is good, I don't have shadows. Like, that's a shadow. So be careful, because as long as I do that, the experience is there's always a challenge about something. And that is a lifelong process, and this is where we grow, or where the practice gives us the opportunity to grow deeper into ourselves. And so I appreciate that you're so honest, and just like let that be seen. I'm feeling guilty how to be with my own sexual energy when it can come up, and how do I deal with it? So it's important just to own it, to be in there. So over all this, you have done some sessions with people, and what is your biggest learning, or what's your biggest kind of takeaway out of that? What would you experience? What's the biggest benefit out of that for you, that you see you get out of doing sessions?
After doing sessions, it is, of course, it's the benefit for me is to being more connected to myself. And I think every time I'm doing a session, I also tuning myself more and more. So that is my benefit, because I'm developing, I grew up with every session. And every session is different. Like last time I had my sister, I'm working in the ceremony. I did some Dearmoring, energy working Dearmoring also in her, and I find out that there was like, it was so much benefit into just being closer, allowing myself to take off those barriers between between me and my sister.
This is a friend who is. Oh, let's stop that. No. Sorry, Ingmarie, I need to hang up. We're in the middle of the interview. Ciao, ciao.
Okay, good, bye.
This is when it's live. Stuff is happening.
Yeah, that's good. We talked about Ingmarie and she popped up.
Yeah, I kind of notice about myself immediately because it's live and we're recording it.
And now it's my colleague. Sorry.
Just like there's immediately coming something up like an embarrassment.
Kan jag ringa dig sen? Jag sitter i intervju. Bra, hej.
It's so interesting that would have been funny if it would have been happening exactly at the same time. So it's just like the cosmos is sending us a signal, just like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, exactly.
I just noticed a kind of like a heat flush coming up, like a little bit shame and embarrassment, just like, no, that can't be happening. Everything needs to be perfect.
And the guilt we talk about.
Right, and then it goes wrong. Just like, how do you be authentic with what is happening in the moment? So that said, we're just doing this Dearmoring as a lifestyle and how to go deeper into, being authentic and expressing yourself the way how we live. So where would you say you have kind of just like diving deeper into authenticity? Where have you noticed that Dearmoring or sexual Dearmoring has given you another, perception of life or deeper insights into your own reality? Where's your changing pad there?
I feel like I'm really much more easy in my body. That's good because I talked to my friend just during the weekend we talked about, and I was talking to my friend one of the benefits of all this personal development. I told them, I can really just take off my clothes here and stay and don't have any shame about it. And that is a freedom. I feel this freedom, I feel it is so amazing for just my being. That is also something, I think it is so beneficial for anyone I'm working with, and I feel like this freedom is the authenticity. I don't need to, my body is like, I feel my body is so, I have so much respect for my body, and also so much, I don't have any shame, so I can being in my body, and all my complexes and my issues about my good looking, and they are like just a little bit disappeared, so I feel so much free from that.
Yeah, it's beautiful to hear that. I just remember the kind of first time when I saw you walking in that room, just like, who is this person? Just like very kind of shy and not really, expressing yourself very well. And what you explain now is just like, wow, there's definitely a shift or a change in a way. And as we said that in the training, you can only guide people as far as you've gotten yourself, and that's what Deanne said. Just like, you do 100 sessions before you actually start charging for it. But then as well, you see as you develop, the more you experience, the deeper you go, the further you can guide people, right? And there's, no session like another session. Every session is new, and you have to deal with what is happening. So when you just look through your year and a half of working with people and becoming a practitioner after practicing and coming to the training, what's the aha and the benefit, the key that people take away from working with you? I mean, this is probably easier to ask them, but what do you observe?
Exactly. I feel like I just explained my reaction to their feedback, and I get surprised every time. I feel like, oh my God, is this true? Is this something I can do? And that is also built my confidence, and also I get this kind of profound landing into myself that I am in the right path. And that is a very beautiful feedback what I get from people, and it's also give me this energy and inspiration to continue. And I feel like I'm living into it also because of it, that I get this feedback that my doubt is like just getting away.
So you are the expert of your life. Yeah, so you are the master of your experience, and you know there's no boss above you, so nobody's telling you how to do that or what to do or what that all is. So you have been coming there and becoming an autonomous, self-guided being, offering that to the world. So there's no rules that anybody is giving you. So you just come more from an embodied place. My question here is for people who have no idea what that sexual dearmoring is. So what would you tell somebody who has heard that the first time, sexual dearmoring? What is sexual dearmoring? What would you say from your own core, from your own roots, from your own experience?
Yeah, for me is like, what sexual dearmoring was like this barrier, this blockage that pushed me away from my freedom. That is what I can explain, and I feel like this is how I feel I get my power, my freedom, and I can be with ease with myself. And a lot of it actually was the constraints was because of this blockage of sexual armor.
So of course, I mean, we have all different backgrounds. You know, you're from Afghanistan, you've been growing up in Iran, and now living here in Sweden. So what would you say, why is sexual dearmoring beneficial for people in different cultures or in different societies? What do they get out of it?
I think I had so much issue with my body. Issue from from my teeth to my face to my nose to my length to my everything, and also to my genital. And also I think all of this just get away with this sexual dearmoring, because then I feel like I don't have anything to hide away. Then I recognize my body in its true essence and for its true function. There is nothing lie about it, and I accept it as this is, because that is what I have and that is what I need. I feel like I have everything I need. I don't need to modify anything. And when I realize embodied this power, then I feel I don't need anything else. I don't need to cut or add something. So because of that power I have inside it, so I feel like I don't have any complex anymore. I don't have any issue with my body.
What happens in a sexual dearmoring session with Naim? So you're working with men, women, you're working with all people. So what happens in your session, in a sexual dearmoring session?
I usually work with the body before we are going deep into the sexual dearmoring. I am working to preparing the body, the fascia massage, and also a touch dearmoring through the rest of the body, and then we go to the genital, mostly in the end. Then I have built this kind of trust with the body, and my body is in connection to the client. And then we go to the sexual dearmoring, and we ending the session usually through the dearmoring, in also all the internal dearmoring. And after that we just let the body release, and also being in a safe place and caring, loving space. Yeah, that is what I'm going to.
So when you have a dearmoring session, or when you offer a dearmoring session, what's the time frame? How many sessions people come for? So how much time does people need to spend, and how many sessions do they need if they do sexual dearmoring with you?
It's very different. Like I meet all my clients in the place they are. Some people, like after 2 dearmoring, we are going into the sexual dearmoring, and some people need more, like 4, 5, or 6 of them. Some people we just start in the beginning, just talking, and we do this 3 minutes game in the beginning just to get connected, and it depends of every individual.
So you just kind of go with the flow, what the person brings, and when they just come in.
Exactly.
Right. You're working as well with couples, showing couples how to do dearmoring on each other.
No, I haven't do that.
So seeing yourself doing that for 1.5 years and kind of evolving, where and how do you see yourself evolving in this field of sexual dearmoring? Where do you want to go? What's your ambition?
I am actually very focused in my personal development. I'm doing all of it because I get a lot of it for myself, and also how I can give this gift to other people. And I don't have any goals and ideas about what is going or how is going, and I'm just going with the flow, and we'll see what is happening. I don't do a lot of marketing. I just working with people, word of mouth, and I feel like I have a lot to work on myself, and because of that, I don't know what's going to happen, because I'm discovering a lot in myself, and that's going to shape whatever I do. So that is what I am doing.
So where and how does people find you? So as you said, word of mouth, or do you have a specific way how to reach out? Any web pages? What's your connection to the outer world to that people can reach you?
Yeah, I don't have any web pages. It's just word of mouth, and people who knows about me, and just they send their people to me. And that is sometimes when I see people, I just talk about it, and just if people are interested, then we exchange some connection, and then sometimes a start like that.
Is there anything in your sexual dearmoring session that you are strictly not doing, or where you say, well, this is the limit, this is how far sexual dearmoring can go for me, and where you say that's not happening? So where is your limit in your work?
No, I don't have any limit. I offer what I have, and I offer mostly all of it what I had experienced myself. So I can do all of the sexual dearmoring, internal and external.
Are you working as well with dearmoring through pleasure? So when people come and say, I just want to have a sensual massage, I never have had this and that touch, and for example, if a man comes and has a sensual desire but never has been working with a man, so you are available, and you can. I mean, you worked a lot with Shahab.
With Shahab, and also I have been in Susan's courses, and I do the pleasure. I do
you have done the dearmoring through pleasure with Sana.
I have, and I use them too in dearming through pleasure, all of it, because I think I'm mixing all together, like, you know,
Yeah.
whatever it is, like, feels like kind of, mixing.
Becomes an art, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like it's just, well, you just what the impulse in the moment is, and you create from that
Yes,
place.
definitely.
Yeah.
And I feel like everything is merged together. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, from yourself, what would you say that people should know, or anything else that you would like to say about sexual dearmoring? Anything that is important for you as a message, just
Yeah.
like of who you are? What would you say?
I would love to recommend everyone to just give it a shot.
Yeah.
And find somebody you can trust, and definitely the benefit is so huge that everyone should do that. Not should, but it is very beneficial.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like it's independent from age, gender identification, any kind of
All of
body
them.
shapes or skin color or
Yeah.
society where you're from. Doesn't matter what your religious background is.
Yeah.
You know, it just comes back to the roots, to the core of our essence of being a soul in the body, and how can we actually liberate our sexuality, our life force energy back into ownership, right?
Definitely, yes.
Thank you, nice for having you on that call. I wish you the best dearmoring sessions that you can have, and I really feel that you're on the right track with what you do, and feeling confident that people are in good hands when they work with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and I have all of that for thanking you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay.